I've been married for more than 15 years.
Congratulations.
I have been in a side relationship that my husband recently found out about. How can I convince my husband to let me keep the side dude?
Well, first of all, he shouldn't. You need to change that convince word to manipulate.
Ooh.
We're not going to play those games right now. You took a vow. You took vows. You stood before God or whatever it is you believe in and said that you were going to love this man in sickness and through health, for rich and for poor. You said that you committed whenever you took that vow. You committed to be there even in the hard times, even in the times where you were not fully emotionally fulfilled. You still took on that position to say that I'm going to have those conversations. I'm going to communicate. I'm not going to breach the trust in this marriage. You lack marital integrity. And if you lack marital integrity, you lack integrity as a person as well. So my next point to make is the audacity must be on sale right now for you to be able to say, how can I convince my husband, a man at that, convince my husband to let me still have a side relationship as if I did not betray this man, as if I did not hurt this man, as if I did not dishonor this man, as if I did not disrespect this man, and you want to ask for something? You want to ask for what it seems like more of a favor because it's only going to work in your favor. It's nothing that is going to work for him. I don't like when we play these games like this. You entered into what you two believe was a monogamous agreement, and you made it a polyamorous thing.
Ooh.
You did.
Ooh.
Let me tell you something else that you did. Let's talk about the lack of responsibility. I'm going to tell you one more thing because I'm sure some other panelists have something to say. This is the problem that I have. Whenever you open up your marriage to something that somebody else did not consent to, if your side piece has depression or anxiety or anything like that, there's a spiritual exchange that takes place when you go sleep with somebody else that you now have invited into your home. So part of the reason why your marriage is not happy is because you were lusting over the fence to begin with.
Ooh.
You invited that into your marriage. You corrupted your home. The best thing for you to do, because he does have the right to leave you. The best thing that you could do, the responsible thing you can do, is either end that relationship on the side or leave that man alone.
This case starts with a situation that immediately raises eyebrows. A marriage lasting over 15 years, suddenly shaken by a confession that changes everything. But what makes this even more shocking isn't just a betrayal. It's the mindset behind it. Instead of remorse or an attempt to repair the damage, the focus shifts toward maintaining both relationships at the same time. That tells us we're not just dealing with infidelity. We're dealing with entitlement and a complete disconnect from accountability. As this unfolds, you'll notice how emotions, logic, and responsibility clash in real time. The real question becomes, can a relationship survive not just betrayal, but the refusal to fully own it?
There's nothing on it.
Can I go through it?
No!
Why?
Because you're being weird.
How am I being weird?
And you're making me uncomfortable.
How am I
by being weird.
How am I making you uncomfortable?
Malik!
What? What?
Like you're just being weird.
Malik, we'll see you at the gym, bro. We will be seeing you at the gym. You're being weird, that's what you can come up with? Yo, Malik, free, bro. Free. Don't check that phone. That's already an answer itself, bro. You don't need to see all those sausages in her mouth, bro. You don't need to see which angle she was getting hit with, bro. Just go to the gym.
Lisa's texting you, not me.
I don't know what you want from me.
Just got this call.
I know.
I just got this call.
Can you pull over into there?
Women Women don't control their emotions. They weaponize them. That is the female strategy. It's why your arguments go in circles. Her goal isn't growth. She's not trying to rise above. She wants to drag you down. Right now, you're vulnerable to this. But by the end of this video, you'll see straight through her.
Asking how it got this bad.
We can talk about it another day.
No, it's not gonna be another day.
So then it's not gonna be another day then. I don't give
and I'm asking you, can we talk about this, please?
nothing to talk about. Leave.
You were just calling me last night.
So what? Leave.
Really quickly, let's just imagine reversing the genders, and there was a woman who had asked 3 times for a man to leave, and he doesn't. You can imagine the response. He's invasive, he's not respecting her boundaries, he's making her feel unsafe. See, this is why women fear men. He'd be lucky to not have the law involved. But believe it or not, for so many women, when they see that clip, they don't see a man whose boundaries are not being respected. They see a struggling woman who's dealing with some intense emotions and a cold, uncaring man who's not being sensitive to what she's going through. This clip continues, but I just wanted to make the point that our culture has a massive double standard. Only women are allowed to excuse their behavior, violate other people's boundaries because of their emotions. Men do not have the luxury of emotional expression. At all times, men must contain themselves and stay calm. If you lose control of your emotions as a man, instantly you become toxic, unsafe, dangerous, abusive. But if a woman loses emotional control, it's excuses, it's sympathy. She's a victim, and everybody asks, what did that man do to upset her? I don't know the context. I don't know why the woman in the clip is upset, but I do know that it does not matter how much she emotionally escalates the situation, he must remain calm. He has to keep his emotions contained, even if she repeatedly violates his boundaries. And men do not get the recognition that they deserve for maintaining their cool when the woman is doing everything that she can to drag him down into her chaos.
What did I do? What did I do for real? I don't know how we got this bad. I don't know. I trusted everything.
We can talk about it tomorrow.
Watch this man's face. Look at how much effort he is having to put into maintaining calm. You can imagine his body is racked with anger or frustration or fear or sadness, but he has to keep his cool. He has to keep a lid on his emotions. He doesn't want things to spiral out of control, and so he's being an adult. But here's the thing, is that as a man, you can be calm, rational, respectful, conciliatory, and in any disagreement with a woman, you can do your absolute best to solve the problem, to move forward, to end the conflict, but you cannot control how she's going to act. And if a woman wants to have a fight with you, she will always emotionally...
Right at the moment where the word convince is used, everything changes. That single word reframes the entire situation from wrongdoing to negotiation. Instead of accepting responsibility, the focus becomes persuasion, as if this is something that can be talked into existence. But relationships aren't built on one-sided decisions. When boundaries are broken without consent, try and convince the other person to accept it isn't resolution. It's manipulation. This raises a serious question. Is this about fixing a relationship or controlling the outcome in a way that avoids consequences?
Is realizing that in the Titanic film, Rose decides to throw a $250 million pendant in memory of an unemployed man she slept with only once away. A man who never even owned the necklace. She completely disregards the fact that the explorer who brought her to the wreck and built his entire career finding that necklace. Yet she held on to it for decades on the off chance she end up at the wreck site again, just to chuck it into the ocean for no good reason, and croaks in his bed. Then goes and waltzes past her husband in the afterlife to meet up with her 3-day fling. Meanwhile, she conveniently leaves out the part where she let Jack, the 3-day love of her life, freeze to death because she couldn't scoot over a bit on the giant door. Oh, and maybe, just maybe, her husband of many years might have liked to know she'd been hanging on to a $250 million necklace all that time. How about her granddaughter, who was caring for her, an early retirement fund? Anyone? The real villain of Titanic? Ready for it? Not Cal, not even the iceberg. It was Rose.
So you're telling me that a woman has to go work like a man every day, and a man goes work and he's tired when he gets home. A woman's not tired. She has to clean, cook, do the dishes, do the laundry. Are you kidding me?
Why don't you want to do that?
What are you talking about? Why don't I want to do? You know how fucking tiring that is? Have you done that?
First of
Have you
all,
done that?
I do it every day.
First of all, yelling doesn't mean you're winning an argument. It's a sign of low intelligence. You can lower your voice and speak to me. I'm sitting right here. Men have different responsibilities. So all this, I cook and I clean and yeah, that's part of your function. But when your tire is flat, my function is to make sure you have a new tire.
But
when
that's
your
what
car
I'm
need an
saying.
oil change, it's my job to make sure these people ain't ripping you off. We have different duties and functions and responsibilities. And if you don't love your duty, your function, your responsibility, you're not fit to be.
As the discussion continues, the idea of marital integrity becomes central. Integrity isn't tested when things are easy. It's tested when things are difficult, when emotions are low, and when temptation is high. What's being pointed out here is that instead of choosing communication or honesty, a different path was taken, one that involves secrecy. And that's where trust takes the biggest hit, because betrayal isn't just about the act. It's about the hidden decisions behind it. So now the question becomes, can trust be rebuilt while the same behavior is still being defended?
Doesn't matter what you do, it's wrong. Like, if I'm kind and soft to my kids, then I'm going to raise a son who is not going to be masculine. And if I'm hard on him and I scream, I'm creating trauma. There's no way for men in this world, it seems like, to exist without offending someone. And it just seems like that's becoming a trend where now more men is be like, you know what, I ain't going to say or do nothing. And then women be like, well, the men ain't men. It's like, how do you want me to men when you're taking away my power to do anything? Had a conversation. This is a true conversation with a bunch of women who were single, and they were just like, DeVal, do you think you as a husband should be able to control where Kadeen goes? And I was just like, I don't think I should control, but I would like to know where she's going because I'm responsible for protecting her. And they were just like, well, you don't have to know where she's going to protect her. And I said, wait a minute, it's my job to protect you and you don't feel like you should tell me what you're doing? And they said no. You had a bunch of women who were not in relationships with the overwhelming loud voice of, I should not have to do this, but you still have to do this for me. They're just saying, I'm a woman, I have my opinion. And I'm like, there should be a conversation here. It shouldn't be your way is the only right way and I have to cower because I'm a man.
Now we're seeing a reaction to the audacity of the request itself. There's a clear emotional disconnect between the action and the expectation that follows it. Normally, after betrayal, the focus is on repair, accountability, or even separation. But here, the expectation seems reversed, asking the person who was hurt to now accommodate the very situation that caused pain. That creates a deep imbalance. And when that imbalance isn't addressed, it often turns into long-term resentment. So the real issue here isn't just a betrayal. It's how it's being handled afterward.
Until they actually meet one, because a good man isn't soft. He is not convenient, and he, I'm sure, is not always available for you. A real good man has discipline, he has boundaries, and he has priorities of his own that do not shift based on her mood. And guess what? He's not bending his values just because she's upset. A good man is not controlling. He creates the order. He doesn't want chaos, arguments, or drama. He wants respect, clarity, and peace. And this is where women get it confused. When she's never met a mature man, she will mislabel everything. She'll call him cold because he doesn't tolerate any nonsense. She'll call him selfish because he takes care of himself. And she'll call him narcissistic because he refuses to beg for approval. But that's not selfishness. That is maturity. A man who refuses to be drained, used, or manipulated. Good men do not move from insecurity. They move from conviction. They will not ever chase drama. They do not chase attention, and they sure don't chase validation from women. They build, they lead, and provide structure. And here's a harsh truth. Most women aren't even ready for the responsibility that comes with being with a good man, because a good man isn't an emotional roller coaster. He is not unpredictable, and it's not a game. He is stable, extremely consistent, and has direction. And for women addicted to chaos, wounded by the past relationships that they were in, or raised by dysfunction, stability feels boring until she loses it. A good man requires partnership. He requires respect and requires a woman who is emotionally regulated, not reckless with her emotions. That's why so many men get mislabeled. It's why mature men get misunderstood. But stay solid, because good men do not bend, they build, and the right woman will rise to meet with him.
I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I got one more relationship left in me before I start doing what the Bible says. I'm really finna come husband and kids in a minute if the next with my time, because like, what the I ain't supposed to be together. Maybe that's why me and these because we not even supposed to be together, man. I'm finna just do what where my Bible at?
I know I can't be the only one. I just feel like women might not be for
Oh my God, no way, yeah.
Let me just say that the dating of lesbians, okay, is trash, okay? It is absolutely trash.
I can't be the only lesbian stud, whatever you want to call it, that is actually getting tired of dealing with women.
Studs is a scam. And this came out another single mother wrong. Single mothers, they studs because they looking for stability and they know that us studs, we more stable, we more also stated that we go over and beyond. We do what the baby daddy never. Basically, we willing to step up and be a simp for another man's seat. Listen, we put our lives on and we try to save the day. Spending our hard-earned money on another man's child. They do it because they know that studs don't simp and step up. And I'm making this video to say, any stud out there that's playing stepdad, stop it right now. So we're dating this girl, right? And we were together over, what, 5 years, you know what I'm saying? We had a baby together and stuff. She had a baby for me. Bruh. She had a baby for me.
Huh?
So now that we done broke up, and I signed the birth certificate, so now she done put me on child support, so where I have to pay $150 every 2 weeks. You know, they go off your income. So my thing is, I'm letting you still know, don't sign that mother certificate. That baby. That ain't your mother baby. Don't you sign that mother certificate. So now I'm on child support the rest of my life.
These chicks are finding out the hard way, bro, that you can't have everything. You can't have your cake and eat it too, bro. I find countless videos of 30-year-old women. I'm going to play you one. 30 to 40, and they're all saying, what's wrong with these guys that are 30 and 40? Let's watch the video, and then we're going to talk about it.
The men in their 30s and 40s who are still figuring out their dating goals, I have a question. What exactly are y'all trying to figure out at your big age? Like, what did you not figure out in your 20s, early 30s, that you're still trying to figure out at your big age? This is a question that needs answers.
I'm going to tell you, here's what they're trying to figure out. Where to meet 22-year-old women, okay, to marry them. Do they have to fly to Ukraine? Do they have to fly to fucking wherever? Because these women had it set in their mind, again, that they were going to run wild, and then you, Captain Simp, would come and be that extra paycheck. That's all they thought. That's the lie they were sold. Settle down when you're 30. No one wants a ran through. No one wants a street demon train wreck, bro. No one wants the town bicycle. You gave your youth away to the party scene and the streets. When you were young and fertile and ready to be married and start a family, you, in your infinite wisdom, ladies, said, you know what? The streets. So now the bills are stacking up high. They're stacking up so high, I see them. They're all the way up there. And you're looking for one of these dudes to cash out his chips. They're not.
At this point, the conversation shifts toward responsibility and consequences. Every action in a relationship carries weight, especially one that breaks trust. When something like this happens, it doesn't just affect emotions. It reshapes the entire foundation of the relationship. Safety, respect, and stability all take a hit. Rebuilding that requires effort, consistency, and most importantly, accountability. But instead of focusing on repair, the conversation keeps circling back to justification. And that's where most relationships fail, because you can't fix something while defending what broke it.